Then we have the statement of profit or loss statement of profit or loss. We also term it a statement of financial performance. We have a statement of cash flows. We have a statement of changes in equity. We have notes to the financial statements. Yes, in 2 words, these are annual reports of the business entity. Then what are these reports or these financial statements made up of? We use the term elements of financial statements to describe the components of information that are found in each of these reports. So next will be the elements of the financial statements. That is to say, if we are preparing a statement of financial position or a statement of profit or loss, what information do these reports contain? Those are the elements of financial statements. These elements of financial statements are placed in 2 different categories. One category, category 1, is the elements of financial position. These are the elements of information that are used to describe the financial state of the business at a particular moment. They are, in short, used to prepare the statement of financial position. We have here assets, we have liabilities, and we have equity. Another word for equity is capital, owner's capital. These are the items which we use to construct or to prepare a statement of financial position to tell us the position of the business at a particular moment in time. Then we have the elements of economic performance of the business. Economic performance of the business, in other words, profit or loss. So when we are calculating the profit or loss of the business, we must use certain terms. And those are the elements. There are 2. One is incomes, and we have expenses. Each of these elements of information is divided into subcategories, as we are going to see next. Okay, so there we are. We have the financial statements that I outlined shortly, and then the elements of these financial statements. The elements of financial statements, beginning with the statement of financial position, that's the assets, liabilities, equity. The elements of the financial performance of the business, namely the expenses and the incomes. Further to that, we'll get to divide these elements of financial position and the elements of economic performance, starting with the elements of financial position. I talked about assets. What are assets? When you start a business, you invest certain resources in that business. The resources we have invested in the business are, in one word, assets. But these assets, because they perform different functions, they are in different forms, are classified into two categories. One is the non-current assets, and the other is the current assets. By non-current assets, we're referring to assets which we shall hold in the business for longer than one accounting period, call it 1 year, which will provide benefit to the business on a longer term basis. These assets, we classify them into tangible assets, which means they are physical assets. Then we have intangible assets, that is assets which do not have a physical form. Then we have got long-term investments. Those are the non-current assets. Current assets. These are assets which the firm will hold for a period which is less than 1 year. And the main examples will be inventory, or call it stock of goods. We have receivables or debtors, you can call it. We have cash and cash equivalents. These assets are circulating assets, so they cannot be held for a period which is longer than 12 months. So those are the assets. Assets in summary are resources which the business holds for the purpose of generating benefits. Next, we have liabilities. The next element of information in the statement of financial position is liabilities. Liabilities are debts or any obligations of the company to pay or transfer resources in future to other parties. Say, after we have taken loans or we have bought goods on credit, we have an obligation to pay or to settle those parties in future. Those are liabilities. Equally, they are classified